Today, we're going to give Ben Arbuckle his coaching grade for the 2025 season. If you have not already gone and checked out the Brent Venables video, I highly suggest you do so. It is a lot of information in that video. I believe it was a very good video. I believe all my videos are very good videos. But today we're going to do Ben Arbuckle. Oklahoma, this isn't just football. This is a standard. And standards don't care about excuses, timelines, or growing pains. Today, we're talking about Ben Arbuckle. And before y'all get emotional, let me say this first. This is not a hate video. This is an accountability video. Ben Arbuckle came to Norman with hype, new ideas. Most people thought a modern offense, and the promise that Oklahoma football was about to turn the page offensively. But at Oklahoma, potential doesn't win games. Execution does. Adjustments do. And when you're calling plays in the SEC, almost gets you beat, and it got Oklahoma beat more than once. Today, I'm breaking down what Ben Arbuckle did right and what he absolutely got wrong, and why his coaching grade might surprise some people. This ain't personal. This ain't Twitter takes. This is no faking sports. And we're grading coaches the way Oklahoma football demands them to be graded. Without bias and without excuses.
Welcome to the channel. This is No Fakin' Sports, bringing you the latest on the Oklahoma Sooners, hosted by David Kincaid.
All right, so in this video, I'm going to go ahead and give you a breakdown of what I'll be covering, just like I did in the Brent Venables video. But in this video, some of what I'm covering is different because this is going to be stuff that has to do with the offense, offensive play calling, adjustments, stuff like that. Okay, so starting with offensive identity, and then we're going to cover quarterback usage, game planning, situational success, in-game adjustments, play calling, physicality versus SEC defenses, and last but not least, consistency. Starting with offensive identity, Ben Arbuckle is a pass-first offensive coordinator. And this was one of the big things that I pointed out when he was hired. I didn't want a pass-first offensive coordinator. I wanted somebody that was going to run the football, because I've given you stat after stat after stat of why teams that run the football win championships. They win games. Every team since our championship in the past 25 years, except for one, which was the LSU Tigers, have been a run-first team. All of them. So 24 out of 25 teams are run-first teams that won national championship. Why would we go get a pass-first offensive coordinator? I had people jumping in my comments telling me I didn't know what I was talking about, but I had the stats to back it up, as I always do. Now, as a pass-first offensive coordinator, he ran the ball with running backs more than he threw the ball 2 out of 11 games. 2 out of 11 games. Those 2 games were Kent State, in which Michael Hawkins started, so he didn't want to, Michael Hawkins slanging it all over the place because he probably didn't want a quarterback controversy. And in the game against South Carolina, that was the game after the Texas game in which John Mateer came back and had 38 passing attempts and then ran the ball for like another 19 times. Made no sense whatsoever that you got a quarterback coming off injury and you put that much on his shoulders. But this is just who he is, guys. He is not a person that's going to change. Ran the ball with running backs more than he threw it 2 out of 11 out of 13 games total. 11 games, he threw the ball more than he ran the ball with running backs. Our biggest margin of victory versus Power 4 opponents was the 19-point victory against South Carolina in which he ran the ball more than he threw the ball. Go figure. Go figure. But let's keep going. Um, but before we move on, I got to give him a grade for that. Offensive identity, I'm going to give him a D, a 65%. It's not completely an F just because he passes more than he throws, but the offense didn't produce very well, which I said in the Brent Venables video. He was in the bottom half in every offensive category in the SEC. Bottom half. And there were only 3 teams that were consistently below him. And those 3 teams all fired their head coaches. Next, quarterback usage. Mateer has run the ball more or just as many times as all the other running backs combined in 8 of 13 games. I'm going to say it again. Mateer has run the ball more or just as many times as all the running backs combined in 8 of 13 games. One of those games he didn't even play. So there was only 4 games in which the running backs had way more carries combined than John Mateer did. John Mateer led the team in rushing attempts on the season. Quarterback usage. He has thrown the ball more than we have ran the ball 11 of 13 games. Once again, we only ran the ball 2 of 13 games. So there's that stat again. Just on the flip side, talking about quarterback usage, John Mateer throwing the football. Prior to his injury, Mateer had 6 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. So I know a lot of people like to say that I want the Mateer before he hurt his thumb. He was turning the ball over then. And then when he came back against the Texas game, he threw 3 interceptions. So he ended up having 6 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. And the reason why this is under QB usage is because if you know that your quarterback is prone to turning the football over, I got to say it. Maybe you shouldn't be putting as much on his plate. That's all this is about, guys. This is not hate on Ben Arbuckle and all that stuff. This is just about a coach knowing what's best for the team and applying it. That's all this is. John Mateer ended the season with 14 touchdowns and 11 interceptions and led the team in rushing attempts. Quarterback usage, Ben Arbuckle gets an F-. Those are the numbers, guys. I don't know how you can try to go around that or try to argue with it. This is not just me throwing a random grade out there. These are the numbers. Your quarterback led your team in rushing attempts. That's what I complained about when he was hired. I told him I didn't want that crap here at the University of Oklahoma. And he has thrown the ball more than we have ran the ball 11 of 13 games, and all he was able to muster was 14 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Don't come in here with the thumb excuse. I told you before we started the video, we don't do excuses here. Okay? This is what it is. If the thumb was such a big problem, you should have been running the damn football. And I can't say that enough because I keep getting people in my comments saying the same thing over and over, and it drives me crazy. And all I do is say, thank you for your comments. But I'm over here pulling my hair out, literally. Game planning. Scripted drives. First drive of the game. And I had to, you can't Google this. I had to go game by game and look it up. Scripted drives. So game planning. Scripted drives. First drive of the game. We had 1 turnover, 5 punts, 3 touchdowns, and 4 field goals. Now, that's 6 non-scores to 7 scores. And if you want to give Ben Arbuckle the benefit of the doubt and give him Tate Sandell's work when he is not the kicking coach, then by all means, go ahead. But you've given me 3 touchdowns in your first drive all season. That's it. 3 touchdowns. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I didn't want you guys to think that I was being biased. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. 1 turnover, 5 punts, 3 touchdowns, 4 field goals. That is a scoring percentage on first drives of 54%. As you know, that is an F. So we got a D, we got an F minus, and we got an F by the numbers. Moving on, situational awareness. Situational success. Right here, I went with third down percentage because third down is one of the biggest situations offensively you can have, and in red zone, okay? Third down percentage on the season, Oklahoma was 38.59% on the season. That is an F. Okay, that's not turning in assignments. That's, you know, when you got such a bad grade, your parents go to the parent-teacher conference and say, why my son got a 39 in your class? Oh, well, he didn't turn in 6 assignments. And your parents look at you like, where are your assignments at? You go, well, in my backpack, I spilled some soda. And you say something crazy. Moving on, man. Red zone efficiency. So this is where we did a lot better, okay? 97.14 in the red zone. Number 1 in college football out of all teams. Partly because of Tate Sandell being able to kick field goals. He didn't miss many once we got in the red zone. He missed one against Alabama in the last game, but y'all know Tate Sandell was the Groza Award winner. He's the best kicker in the nation. And that 97.14%, number 1 in college football, red zone scoring percentage is mostly because of that. But as far as touchdown percentages, so I broke it down. I took that out of it. He don't get credit for that. 71.43%. Red zone touchdown scoring percentage. That's 18th in college football, 6th in the SEC. Digging in the stats, guys. I'm doing work for you. And I'm bringing you the information. You add them both up, the 38.59 and 71.43, and you get a 55%. Red zone touchdown scoring percentage. That's a 55%. That's another F. Now, if you want to be fair, well, I don't even think it's fair, but if you want to give it to him, I didn't do it, so I'm going to do it real quick. I'm going to take the 38.59 plus 97.14 equals 117 divided by 200. That's how you get the average. And that only gives you a 59%. That's an F plus. So whether you want to give him a 55 or you want to give him a 58, it's still a freaking F for situational success. Now, before I move on, if you guys have not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so. I'm trying to get to 1,000. That's all I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to get to 1,000, man. Please help your boy out, man. I know y'all enjoy these videos. I know a lot of you guys are already subscribed, and I do appreciate all the comments that y'all constantly just drop down and flood in the comments, man. That makes my day. When I click on my videos, I'm I'm always looking for the comments so I can go ahead and get in there and respond. And with all of the comments that I do have, man, I don't mind taking the time to do that while I still have the time. I'll get in there and I'll reply to everybody that leaves me a sensible comment. Now, if you just come in here and say, "Oh, you sucks," I don't know what to say to that, man. Whatever, okay. You win. We lost. We at home. That's the Bama fans I'm talking about, man. All them UT fans, y'all didn't make it to the playoffs this year, and y'all started the season off ranked number 1, so I don't even want to hear it. In-game adjustments. This is the third quarter, and I've been very critical of Ben Arbuckle all season when it comes to third quarter, and these stats are going to surprise you guys. So I'm just going to give it to you. Third quarter, first drive coming out of halftime. This is when you go in and half and you make adjustments based off of the information that's given to you by the other assistants and analysts. There's a bunch of people on the sidelines. All those guys have a job to do. They're going to tell you, hey, this is what they're doing in this situation, this is what they're doing in that situation. They're compiling information. They're supposed to put it together real fast and hand it to the offensive coordinator so he can make adjustments. But this man don't make adjustments. He's just business as usual, running his offense. First drive, coming out of half. This is your second script. Your first script is your first drive. This is your second script. First drive coming out of halftime. I know, I'm killing you. 1 interception, 10 punts, 2 field goals, and 0 touchdowns. He hasn't scored 1 touchdown coming out of halftime all season. What do y'all think that grade is? What would you give that grade if you heard 1 interception, 10 punts, 2 field goals, and no touchdowns is your first drive coming out of halftime? What would be your score? I tell you my score. It's an F-. It's a get him the out of here is what that is. That's what it is. Those are the numbers. I know somebody gonna have an argument. Somebody gonna have something to say. They argue with numbers. I didn't play this year. I didn't coach. This is his grade. This is his coaching. And the product that he put on the field, preparing those young men to go win football games. And I know that we went 10-3, but y'all have to understand sometimes those wins can be fool's gold. Because that's what I hear a lot too. Be happy. We went 10-3. I am happy we went 10-3. That don't mean I have to be happy with the offensive side of the football and what they produced this year. When I know it was my defense that carried us all season. Every analyst on YouTube can tell you that. Moving on, play calling. We have a pass-first offensive coordinator. And when he doesn't want to run the ball, it's in the +1 run game with John Mateer. We have running backs that are not happy. Offense hasn't produced much. And if you need any more proof, I'll give it to you again. Mateer, SEC passing yards, 7th in the SEC. Out of 13 teams, bottom half. 12th in passing touchdowns. 5th most interceptions. And 10th in SEC in rushing attempts. And there's actually 2 other quarterbacks ahead of him in rushing attempts in the SEC. How's our quarterback 10th in rushing attempts in the SEC? Ha! Norris Sellers was just above him. And you see what South Carolina did this year. Stunk it up. That's what happens when you get your QB being 10th in the SEC in rushing. 12th as a team in yards per game. Bottom half. Out of 13 teams, 12th in yards per game. 9th in passing yards per game. 13th, I'm sorry, out of 16 teams. 13th in rushing yards per game. 12th in points per game. Bottom half in every freaking offensive statistical category. In the SEC. What would you give that grade? His best grade so far has been a D. Now, if you disagree with this, I understand, man. Make you a video. I'll watch it. Because I want to know what stats you got to provide that's going to show me that this man has done an outstanding job this year. It's piss poor. Physicality against SEC defenses. It's hard to rate this, so I'm just going to give you my take on it. No downhill running game. When we do run downhill, our running backs are producing. I gave you the running back stats. Xavier Robinson and Torrey Blaylock averages per rush were 4 yards and 5 yards per carry. That's their averages. Give them the damn ball more. Most of our runs are RPOs. And a lot of people wonder why our runs don't do that well is because, and I said this in a previous video, whenever you have an RPO run game, those offensive linemen are pass blocking. People are saying they're fed up with the offensive line not firing off the football and fire Bill Beatenbow and all that stuff. Understand, whenever you have an RPO run game, those linemen are pass blocking. They're not run blocking. They're not firing off the football. They come off the football and then they stop. Because if they get too far downfield, you got ineligible receiver downfield. Come on, guys. If you don't have the knowledge, it's okay. That's what I'm here for. The RPO run game should not be your base offense. And I've said this in a previous video, is because when you do that, you're allowing the defense to dictate your offense because you're coming out and counting and you're going to run or you're going to pass. You're letting them dictate it. And they can disguise stuff, and that's where you run into problems. But when you call a run play and you tell John Mateer to turn around and hand it to the running back, and that's the design of the play, you're dictating your offense. You're saying, this play, we're going to run the ball. I don't give a damn what you're doing. Those are the teams that are successful. Those are the teams that are imposing their will on the opposite side of the football. And I told you guys before that when you have a running back like Xavier Robinson that's over 200 pounds and he's coming downhill, guys get tired of tackling that. They start just throwing their shoulder, or they start reaching with their arms, and they start missing tackles late in the game, a la Ramondre Stevenson.
That defensive line there, 2nd and 2. Stevenson to the outside. The block from Stogner, pushes ahead, kept his balance, dances his way in.
That's the most recent example I can give you of a running back, just a big back destroying people at the University of Oklahoma. And that's sad. The last one is consistency. And the only things we know to be consistent is Mateer is going to do it all. Maybe I need to do a video and give Mateer a grade. But the reason why I don't want to do that is because Mateer's not calling any plays. This is all on Ben Arbuckle. You know what else is consistent? We get a big run play for 10, 12, 15, 20 yards, and he's going to go hurry up and go to 5 wide receivers. Y'all been watching it all season. I know y'all have seen that. Another consistency is that we're going to pass the ball more than we run the ball. We have passed the ball more than we ran the ball 11 of 13 times this season. Those are your consistencies on offense. That's it. Overall grade is an F. I don't want him back next season. I'm just gonna be honest and say, guys, I hope he gets a job somewhere and he takes it and he runs. I don't have a problem with John Mateer. If John Mateer decides to come back, he comes back. Now I know a lot of y'all are gonna jump on here and you're gonna say, give him time and this and he needs to get his players. There was no issue with the players. We got the running backs. We had a tight end that was leading the SEC in receptions. He had a hell of a season. Came over from linebacker, Jaron Cannick. Might not have been a great run blocker, but he was serviceable. Nothing wrong with the offensive line. Yeah, we got some young bucks there, but those are 5 stars. 5 stars play. I don't know if y'all realize that or not. Talking about we got a young offensive line. I will take a 5-star freshman over a 3-star junior any day of the week. Any day of the week. How many times did you see any one of those freshmen get called for holding or offsides? Not much. We're the least penalized team in the SEC. Did they miss some blocks? Yeah. It's going to happen. But this is not on them. It's not on the running backs. It's not on the tight end. It's not on John Mateer. This is on one person. It's on Ben Arbuckle. And I can't give you any more stats to prove it. If you just want to be in denial, you might be one of them people to say the earth is flat. Just be in denial, man. Don't come over here bothering me with your nonsense, though. Hope y'all enjoyed the content, man. I'm bringing that fire, and like I said, I'm not going to disappear this year, even though the season is over. I'm coming with it. And I hope the other YouTubers catch up, because I'm not just coming on here saying the same thing over and over. Well, other than run the football. But I'm trying to give y'all some different takes, some different aspects, a different look at the college football landscape and how the Oklahoma Sooners did as a whole. Comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And until next time, it's still horns down, baby. Boom.